It happened long before our time. It would change the face of our planet forever. A gigantic object from space smashed into the Earth. The planet was transformed into a fiery furnace. It was left a wasteland. All life was extinguished. In one massive blow, a whole era of Earth's history came to an end. But the world recovered and began to bloom once again. The age of humanity dawned. Man conquered the Earth and subdued it. But the cosmos has long been preparing its second strike. Is on a collision course with the Earth.
Last summer, 2 comets were discovered that are on a collision course with Earth. The smaller comet will hit first, creating a tidal wave over 3,000 feet high. The larger comet is the size of New York City, 500 billion tons. If it can't be stopped, all life on Earth will perish. So for the past 8 months, the United States and Russia have been building the largest spaceship ever constructed. This is the crew that will stop the comets. Our missiles have failed. The comets are still headed for Earth, and there's nothing we can do to stop them.
With that one blow, the Earth bursts into flames.
We gotta go!
is hotter than the sun. There are worldwide tsunamis. Drawing moisture from the atmosphere, the polar ice caps grow ever larger. The climate becomes drier, and the continents freeze over. Paris now lies in the midst of an icy desert with temperatures 40 degrees Celsius below normal. The temperature remains bearable only close to the ocean. In New York City, it is freezing. Fire pours from the sky like rain. Will the human race survive?
2 trillion metric tons of rock is headed straight for them, and impact is less than 20 minutes away. But the rock's enormous mass is only part of the threat. As it gets closer to the planet, the Earth's gravitational pull gets stronger, causing the asteroid to accelerate until it's traveling at more than 70,000 kilometers per hour. Mass times acceleration equals force. As the asteroid encounters atmosphere, friction turns it into a fireball. It takes just 4 minutes to cross the Atlantic Ocean on its way towards Mexico and the Alamosaurus. As it travels, it crushes and superheats the air surrounding it, turning gas and debris into white-hot plasma. It takes just 5 seconds to flash through the atmosphere. The impact seems instantaneous. But hidden within this cataclysm is a series of discrete events, invisible to the naked eye, but key to understanding what follows. The asteroid's trajectory is shallow. It flies in at around a 30-degree angle to the surface. This means that the full brunt of its destructive power will be thrown forward of the impact point. Even before the fireball touches down, its brightness in the sky is unimaginable. The asteroid hits with an explosive force of 100 trillion metric tons, more than 1 billion times the power of the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. If the asteroid had crashed into deep ocean, some of the force would have been absorbed. Instead, it hits the shallow waters of the Gulf of Mexico, which instantly vaporize. The entire asteroid disintegrates into the planet. Earth and rock are hurled skywards at 160,000 kilometers an hour. Behind them, more than 300,000 cubic kilometers of the Earth's crust explodes from the ground.
Sunlight is our planet's indispensable source of energy. The scientists actually ruled out the possibility of volcanic activity resulting from the impact of the comet. But active volcanoes, such as Mauna Loa, are powder cakes. They can erupt at any time. Mauna Loa now awakes from its sleep. The basalt lava, heated to over 1,000 degrees Celsius, leaves a trail of destruction as it creeps down Mauna Loa and over the foothills. Seems like it was only yesterday that a mission failed and a supercomet hit the Earth. Changing everything forever. And annihilating civilization. Does the human race have a chance to survive? Will the Earth recover? For the scientists, the answer is clear. New York City is almost 3,000 kilometers from the expected point of impact, but New Yorkers fear the worst. Most of them have already left. Anyone who could afford it has fled to another continent. The others are trying to cross the border into Canada. Upon impact, the comet releases energy equivalent to more than 100 megatons of TNT. Silent, invisible, the EMP races around the world. Only the poorest of the poor remained in New York City. During the next hour, everything will suffocate under a thick coat of dust and ash. But the next stage of the catastrophe is already underway. When the comet falls into the shallow water off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula, it creates a wave almost a kilometer high. The tsunami hits a ravaged landscape. What is left of the coastal areas is drowned in the floods. The water surges hundreds of kilometers into the interior. The gigantic waves simply roll over the Caribbean islands and race along the east coast towards North and South America. A peripheral wave 6 meters high crashes into New York. The wave, 100 kilometers long, surges through the streets for hours before it begins to ebb. The waves cross the Atlantic at over 500 kilometers an hour, heading for Africa and Europe. The waves are still almost as massive as when they began. Cities such as Dakar and Lisbon, then Bordeaux and Brest disappear beneath the deluge. Despite warnings, many people have remained in the coastal areas. Unbearable heat all over the world. Within minutes, the sky seems to be burning. The heat is created by rock vaporized during the impact and hurled out into space. Outside, it is already like an oven.
Michelle!
And the temperature is still rising.
Michelle!
The smoke from the fires mixes with the falling dust particles. A thick veil forms over the Earth. At ground level, the only light comes from the fires themselves. The effect on the American continent is devastating. Within a radius of 1,500 kilometers from the point of impact, not one stone is left standing on another. Further away, the Earth is covered in rock expelled by the comet. The only people who survived were in underground shelters. After the dust cloud and the tsunami, fires rage in New York. The end of all life has been extinguished. It is uncertain whether the survivors have any chance of a future.
Good luck to us all.